Vande Vrindavanacharam Vallavi Janavallabham Jayanti Sambhavam Dhama Vaijayanti Vibhushanam. I think we are at Samavardhata Tadvamshaha Upari Upari Parvabhihi Yasho Mukta Phalairiasya Disho Dasha Vibhushitaha. We saw till this shloka. So Upari Upari Tasya Vamshaha Samavardhata. That is Chandravamshasya Vriddhistu Atra Varnyate. So the Chandravamsha, it increased with every king, just as how a bamboo shoot would increase with the putting on one node after the other as it grows taller and taller. So it also shows that the one who came, the Krishna that we are going to describe, who belongs to this Chandravamsha, is probably he was the best among all of the kings who had appeared before. Okay. Now he talks about Nahusha. Bhabhuva Nahushastasya Airavata Ivam Budho Yam Indra Vigame Devaha Pade Tasya Nyavi Vishan. Nahushaha Tasmin Chandravamshe Airavataha Ambudho Iva Babhuva. So in that Chandravamsha, another king came who was Nahusha, and he was like Airavata. Airavata is Indra's elephant. Ambudhau Airavataha iva babhuva. Ambudhau ityukte tatra samudre kshirasagare yatha kshirasagarat yatha Airavataha jayate tatha atrapi tasmin vamshe ayam nahushaha jataha iti. Okay, so just as how during Samudra Mathanam, when the milk ocean, Kshirabdi, was being churned, all of these wealth, that is Airavata, Uchchaishravas, Amritam came at the end, but then you had Lakshmi and everybody who came out of that ocean. In the same way, in that ocean, just as how Airavata was born, the same manner, tasmin nahushaha babhuva, tasmin chandravamshe api nahushaha babhuva. That vamsha, see, the comparison also is very beautiful, because in the Kshirabdi, there are so many other items also, which are much, much more valuable than Airavata. And Airavata is one of the valuable items that came out of that ocean. The same way in this Chandravamsham also, there are so many people who came out of it. And Nahusha was one of the persons, but there were more valuable people in this Chandravamsha more than Nahusha, because Nahusha is not such a great character. Yes, he was. He even was made as Indra by the Devas, but then slowly, like anybody who gets into power, his mind was also corrupted because of power, and he lost his vision and focus there. So he was not the best of everybody. The same way Airavata also, being an elephant, it fell under a curse, and Durvasa cursed it to be an ordinary elephant, and he was born in India, in the Bhumi, as an ordinary elephant. He had to worship Sundareshwara in Madurai, and then he got back to the heaven. So the same way here also, Nahusha is not the best among the items, the best among the people who were there in Chandravamsha, but he was also one of them. It was definitely valuable. So Yasmin Yam Indra Vigame. Here Parkadallan Garche, that Kshirabdi is also white. The same way Chandravamsha. The moon is also white here. So naturally, just as how the Kirti, the fame of the moon, is also very widespread, in the same manner, Nahusha, who was born in the Chandravamsha, his fame was also very widespread. Yam Indra Vigame, when Indra was gone, Devaha Yam Tasya Pade, Indrasya Pade, Nyavi Vishan, they made him as Indra. Nivishati, Nyavi Vishan is actually Lung Lakara here. You would have given it here at the end, Leah. Usually, some grammar points he mentions, some he doesn't mention. So here, Nyavi Vishan is, I think, Lung Lakara here. Yam Nahusham, Devaha, all the Devas, They saw that Indra went and hid himself inside a lotus stalk, and so they made him as the Indra here. So I'm just thinking if, okay, the story is here. We will go over the Visheshas, and the story will be much better then. We'll go over the Pratipadartha. Someone wants to read today? Shankari Padikrila.
Yam Shatakratum Devaha Agnyadayah.
Atra Shatak. Why Shatakratun irukku? Or nimsham. Illa, Indra illa. Adukada. This is not Indra here. One who has performed 100 yagas. See, when Indra was gone, they had to appoint somebody in that Indra position. They could do that only to a person who had performed 100 Ashwamedha yagas. Kratu here means yaga. So, Yam Nahusham Shatakratum. So, here Nahusha, who had performed 100 yagas. Okay.
Devaha Agnyadyaha. Indra Vigame Brahmahatya Doshat Nashta Prabhave Kwapi Niline Shakre Tasya Pade.
Because of Brahmahatya dosham, here he he had killed Vritrasura. So Vritrasura was Twashta's son, and Twashta is like our Vishwakarma. He is a Brahmana, and his son was Vritra. Because Indra killed Vritrasura, that Brahmahatya, one who has killed a Brahmana. So that dosham came to Indra in the form of a papam, and it was torturing him. To escape that papam, he went and hid himself inside a lotus stalk. So Nashta Prabhave, his wealth was gone, and Kwapi Niline, he went and hid himself somewhere. There are two versions. One is Durvasa cursed him, that you will have to lose all of your wealth, and so he goes away. Actually, the version that is very popular and in many Puranas is this, where he kills Vritrasura, and so all of his wealth is gone. That is, he loses his lustre, and all the Asuras come and occupy Amaravati. So he goes away and hides himself.
Tasya Pade Indrasya Prashasakasya Padeva.
Prashasakaha, Indraha. So, which means Indrasya Pade ityukte, not as an Indra, but as a ruler in his position.
Prashasayitum Nyavivishan Niveshaya Masuhu. Saha Nahushaha Tadrishaha Nahushaha Tasmin Chandravamshe Ambudau Ksheerasagare Airavata iva Abhramatanga iva Babhuva Utpannaha.
Abhra is sky or cloud or swargam. So a matanga is an elephant, divine elephant.
So all the Diggajas are in the Abhramatanga, right?
Yes.
All of them, 8 of them.
All of them are called Abhramatangaha, Diggajaha.
Bhavaha. Yaha Shatakratur Bhutva Devaihi Indrapadepi Niveshitaha Saha Nahushopi Chandravamsheyeva Ksheerasagre Airavataiva Utpannaha Asit.
So Yaha Shatakratuhu Bhutva, one who had become a person who had performed 100 yagas. That is why Devaihi Indrapade api niveshitaha. He was placed in the Indrapadavi by the Devas. Saha Nahushaha api, that Nahusha was also born in this Chandravamsha only. Like Ksheerasagara, like Airavata, which was born out of Ksheerasagara.
If Indra was in his normal state without the Brahmahatya dosha, then Nahusha would not have become Shatakratu.
He would not have become, but technically, he can become an Indra. See, the moment you have completed 100 yagas, so usually Indra doesn't let anybody complete 100 yagas. That's why. So he stole the horse of that Ashwamedha Yagam, etc. It's Sagara Sambhavetu Tatasit. But even then, there are kings who have performed 100 yagas. Usually, whenever they go to Swargam, they are not given a separate seat. They can go and sit with the Indra Ardhasanam along with him. So he can only sit there. Adnalda, even in Shivalila Arnavam, we have Ugrapandian who goes to Swargam and he wants to be seated there, right? But Indra insults him and all that happens. Then he fights the Devas.
विशेषः एकदा इन्द्रः त्वष्ट्रुप्रजापतेः अपत्यं हत्वा ब्रह्महत्यादोषात् नष्टप्रभावः स्वपदं त्यक्त्वा कञ्चित् कालं कुत्रचित् लीनः आसीत्. तस्मिन् काले अन्ये देवाः सम्भूय भुवि राज्यं पालयन्तं नहुषं क्रतुशतयाजिनं तत्पदोचितं विचिन्त्य तस्य पदे तम् अभ्यशेषयन् इति महाभारतकथा.
अभ्यषेचयन्
इति
अभिषेचनम् अकुर्वन् tasya abhishekam akurvan, right? So they coronated him in Indra's padavi. So ekada, once Indra tvashtru prajapatehe apatyam hatva. Now this has a backstory actually, wherein he has come to the padavi. One day he is just enjoying the Apsara Strees dances and all that, and Brihaspati comes in. He doesn't notice Brihaspati, or he notices him, but still, sometimes even if you notice somebody, you're so involved in seeing something that you wouldn't want to leave what you are doing and go and give him respect. So that's what happened to Indra. So he was so engrossed in seeing the Apsaras dances that even though he saw Brihaspati from the corner of his eye, he did not acknowledge him. He did not immediately get up and go and see him. So Brihaspati felt slighted, so he went away. Because Brihaspati went away, Indra's prabhavam, his luster started going down because he did not have the advice of Brihaspati with him. Then someone suggested that Tvashta's son, Trishiras, actually, first son, the first son was appointed as the Daityas, right? So the Asuras came to fight with the Devas, and he needed someone to perform a yaga. So he called Tvashta's son, the first son, and asked him to perform the yaga. But the first son who came and performed that, his Trishiras, he had some other thing in his mind as he was doing the yagam. He may do Indraya idam namama, but in his mind he was giving that ahuti to somebody else in the Devas, in the Asuras section. So with every ahuti, he would think of some other Asura in his mind. Now Indra found out this, and he immediately cut off all three heads of that person. Then again, Tvashta, there was a Brahmahati dosha for that. That dosham came in the form of Rupam Dhritva Agataha. That Hatya was cut into pieces and thrown everywhere by Devas. So he escaped it somehow. The second time what happened was, Tvashta again, he gave, his second son was Vritra. He did a yagam and brought Vritrasura there. Vritrasura went and fought with Indra. He still did not, they both were well matched and they could not win. None of them could win. So Vritrasura went and went into the sea, and he was doing tapas. When he was doing tapas, all the devas come and tell Indra that this is the perfect time that you can go and kill him. Otherwise, if he finishes this tapas and comes back, you won't have that strength to face him. You will lose. So he goes there and kills Vritrasura. He beheads him when he is doing tapas, when he is in samadhi. That is why he is cursed. So he gets that Brahmahatya dosham, and he couldn't do anything about it. It was not, he didn't have any evil intention at that point, right? So Vritrasura was just doing tapas. Because Indra killed Vritrasura during his tapas, that Brahmahati dosham came to him and he couldn't do anything about it. So he went and hid himself in a lotus stalk. Brihaspati then understands this and then comes later. After Nahusha is sent to Patalam and all that happens, then he comes and rescues Indra and asks him to go for Prayaschittam. After doing all the Prayaschittam, he comes back.
The reason he asks Tvashtra's first son to do the yaga is because he insulted Brihaspati. So Brihaspati usually does the yaga. So he had to substitute. But Tvashtra is usually on the side of the gods. He is a deva.
He is. But he has married Hiva, or Asura. Adinala, the Tvashtra's son, he wanted to side his uncle, Mama. Mama was the Asura king then.
Romba samsara irukku man.
பயங்கரமா இருக்கும் அதுல.
See, all this is because of Indra's ego. If he had insulted, if he had gone to Brihaspati himself and then apologized and then make him to perform the yaga.
He couldn't find Brihaspati. Actually, he couldn't find Brihaspati. Brihaspati just went into yoga and he disappeared there. Adinalda, he went and searched for Brihaspati immediately. ஆனா எல்லாத்துக்கும் ஒரு தலையில ஒரு அடி வரணும்.
And actually, Nahusha's story is in the end of the Mahabharata, Yudhishthira releases Nahusha from the curse, right?
Yes.
Very long story, Pawan. Like, like in beginning of Dwapara, perhaps he gets cursed, and then end of Dwapara, he gets released.
No, in Krita Yugam.
He gets cursed in Kritava.
Amama, Nahusha's happens in Krita Yuga.
My God, Pawan.
இது because இதுல ஸ்காந்தத்துல கிருத யுகம்னு வரும். ஸ்காந்தத்துல Nahusha is in Krita Yuga because this is one of the Shivalila there. So this is one of the first or second Shivalila in the Indra Vimochanathula vandurradhu. So Papa Vimochanam. So this is the second Leela which happens in the Krita Yugam itself. அப்படின்னு அதனால நான் கனெக்ட் பண்ணி சொல்றேன்.
Nice.
And he is the biggest snake in the Paramapada Sopanapad.
Ama.
From
okay, so ekada in sorry.
From position 104 or 1 something to 1.
இது 99 ல இருந்து 1 க்கு வர்றது தானே. So I'll go over the meaning of this. Ekada Indraha Tvashtru Prajapatehe Apatyam Hatva. So he killed the son of the child of Tvashta, who is also a Prajapati. Brahmahatya doshat. Because he killed Tvashta's son, he got the dosham which is called Brahmahatya. Hatya nale killing. Brahmahatya ityukte Brahmanasya Hatya Jata. So because the papam also has the samgya or the name of the deed itself. So Brahmahatya doshat, because of that dosham, nashta prabhavaha, he lost his prabhava, his power. Swapadam tyaktva, he left his position. Kanchit kalam, for some time, kutrachit leenaha asit. He was hidden somewhere. Tasmin kale, during that time, anye devaha sambhuya, other devas got together. Bhuvi rajyam palayantam nahusham tatpada uchitam vichintya. All these devas got together and they thought that Nahusha, who was ruling Palayantam, who was ruling at that time on earth, he was ruling a kingdom, Rajyam Palayantam, on the earth, Bhuvi, and he had also performed 100 yagas. So Kratu Shata Yaji. Yajate iti. So one who has performed 100 yagas, Tatpada Uchitam, Indra Pada Uchitam. They thought that he was appropriate for occupying Indra's Padavi. Iti Vichintya, having thought thus, Tasya Pade, again Indrasya Pade, Tam Nahusham, Abhyashechayan, they coronated Nahusha in the position of Indra. Iti Mahabharata Katha. Okay. Upama Alankaraha, here it is Airavata Iva Nahushaha Kshirasagare Chandravamshe. So these two are common here. Utpannaha, Utpatti is your Sadharana Dharma. So it is a Purnopama here. Tena Chandravamshasya Kshirabdhi Tulyatve Sadhite. Now because of this Upama Alankara, there is a comparison between Chandravamsa and Ksheerabdi. These two are equal now, sadhite, when this has been established. Tasya vamshasya bhagavad avatara samparka yogyatvam arthat siddham iti dvanihi. So because this Chandravamsa is almost has been established that it is equal to Ksheerasagaram. Ksheerasagara is where Bhagavan Vishnu has his Ananta Shayanam, right? So this Vamsha is naturally the best place for Bhagavan to take an avatar, because it is something like going from his own home to another home. It is like a second home for him. That comparison has also been brought out. Clear? So Arthat Siddham. This is a suggestion here.
But it's interesting because we say Chandravamsha, and Chandravamsha is the Sagara, and I would have thought Chandravamsha, Chandraha, or Ksheerasagara, Chandraha would be a nice comparison. Chandravamsha, Nahusha.
Chandra has already come, no? So we are looking at other items here which have come out.
Okay. Chandra, maybe connection. Chandravamsha is related things to Chandra. Okay. So now
also Nahusha is a bad king, right? So we need
Airavathathukku shapam vanda madri Nahushanum keela pochu.
Oh, அப்படியா?
அப்படி நானா இன்டர்பிரேட் பண்றேன். बभूव नहुषस्तस्मिन् ऐरावतैवाम्बुधौ यम इंद्र विगमे देवाः पदे तस्य न्यवीविशन्. I think I have not marked any இது here highlights பண்ணவே இல்ல. இதெல்லாம் கேட்டிருக்கா என்னன்னு முடிஞ்சா you can send me a list and I'll try to incorporate that in this text.
न्यवीविशन्ன்னா நிச்ச இல்லையா?
நிவேஷயதி न्यवीविशन् lung இல்ல?
lung
निजन्त. Yes. नी पूर्वक विष धातोः निजन्त लुङ् लकारे प्रथम पुरुष बहुवचनम. Okay.
And pretty complex verb forms he's using right away in the beginning, right?
ஆமா. அது ரொம்ப யூஸ் பண்ண மாட்டார். அப்பப்போ கொஞ்சம் சிம்பிளிஃபை பண்ணிடுவார். Vedanta Desika is pretty easy going on the readers. Not so complicated. नरेन्द्राः पृथिवी चक्रे नामचिह्नैरलङ्कृताः जङ्गमास्तस्य वीरस्य जयस्तम्भा इव अभवन्. तस्य वीरस्य नामचिह्नैः नरेन्द्राः पृथिवी चक्रे जङ्गमाः जयस्तम्भाः इव अभवन्. So he won over a lot of kings in the bhumi. All of those kings were carrying his nameplate. அதாவது நாம சின்னைஹி அலங்கிருதாக நரேந்திராக, all of the kings who were conquered by Nahusha, they were to show their loyalty, they were wearing some sort of a symbol, like maybe in the or idu kuttipa illaya, you have a badge that they have showing which party you belong to. And the madri nama chinnaihi alankritaha, they probably were wearing some collar, like a dog collar or something which had the initials of Nahusha here, who knows. So tan nama chinnaihi, Nahushasya nama chinnaihi alankritaha narendraha. Illana inda idu undu, pacha kuttikaradu undu, that is tattooing in those days. You could also tattoo the names of the person to whom you're showing your loyalty. So adu kuda irkalam. So nama chinnaihi alankritaha vibhushitaha, they were all decorated by the name as a symbol of Nahusha. These kings, Prithvi Chakre, in this bhumi, they were all like walking victory pillars. Jangamaha jayastambhaha iva abhavan. When a king goes and conquers another region, he goes there and constructs a pillar with inscriptions to show that he had come here and he had conquered this place. Right? So those are called Jayastambhaha. Jaya, victory, and Stambha is like a column or a pillar, which shows that this person has come there and he has conquered this place. Now, these kings who were roaming around in this bhumi, who had been conquered by Nahusha, they were all having his name on them. they look like these Jayastambha, which are Jangamaha, natu Stavaraha. Stavara ityukte, that which is not moving. Jangama is something that is moving. So they look like moving pillars of victory. Tasya Veerasya Jayastambhaha iva abhavan. Okay. Pratipadartha. Someone wants to go? Aridas, ninga solrena?
प्रतिपदार्थः वीरस्य पराक्रमिणः इति तस्य नाम नहुषस्य नामचिह्नैः तन्नामधारणरूपैः तन्निर्जितत्वचिह्नैः
तेन निर्जितः तेन निर्जितस्य भावः तन्निर्जितत्वम्. The chinnam, that is, you take this tannirjitatvam as an adjective to chinnam.
Oh, tannirjitatvam. Nama nirjita nama defeated, conquered.
Yes.
Taihi tena nirjita. Okay, tena. Oh, tannirjitatvam is the bhava. As the quality of having been conquered by him. Okay.
So the chinnam, the symbol, is representing the quality of having been conquered by Nahusha.
Tannirjitatva chinnaihi alankritaha vibhushitaha narendraha Shatrubhupatayah. So he's just making here in the okay Shatrubhupatayah eva iti. Nama mitramapi bhavitum arhati.
Te tu evam chinnam dhritva na gacchanti iti.
Oh, fans. Fan, Nahusha fans.
Bhavitum arhanti kila. Okay.
Arhanti. Satyam.
Shatrubhupatayah पृथ्वी चक्रे भूमंडले नाम राज एतादृश राजमंडलं तस्य भूमंडले जंगमाः किमर्थं पृथ्वी चक्रम् इति वदति नाम
न केवलं तस्य राज्ये किन्तु संपूर्ण भूमिमण्डले इति
एवं संपूर्ण भूमिमण्डले इति एवम् अस्तु 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 सो भूमंडले ओके सो पृथ्वी चक्रे नाम भूमंडले इति सप्तमी जंगमाः संचारिणः मूविंग Jayastambhaha iva, moving pillars of victory. Iva, Digvijaya Suchaka Stambha Visheshaha iva, as pillars conveying the complete victory in all directions of Nahusha. Like that. So these kings are as if they are moving pillars that announce the victory of Nahusha over the whole earth. Iva abhavan asan iti. Okay, so some kind of utpreksha or something is going on.
Yeah, utpreksha eva. Yataha tatra acetanattvasya chetanatva vyavharaha. That's the easiest way of recognizing utpreksha there. Bhava.
Bhavaha. Nahushena jitaha parthivaha. So, okay, parthivaha. Even that, the word, the prithvi and parthivaha is related. So, nahushena jitaha parthivaha tan namankitani vibhushanani dhritva. So, carrying the vibhushanani, ornaments or markings, which are tan namankitani, which are marked by the name of Nahusha. Those kinds of parthivaha, princes or kings, who have been conquered by Nahusha, nahushena jitaha. Sancharantaha, moving around in the Bhumandale. So moving around in the world like that. Sanchara Jayastambharupaha asan became the form of moving pillars which announce the victory of Nahusha.
Okay.
Alankara. Atra Narendranam Nama Chinnitatva Rupa Guna Nimittena Jangama Jayastambha Bhavana Rupa Utpreksha Alankara. Atra Utpreksha Alankara asti. So here the Alankara is called Utpreksha. Why? What kind of it? Jangama Jayastambha Bhavana. So Bhavana means the imagination or possibility. So it is the imagination of imagining the Stambha, the unmoving pillars, which are lifeless pillars, as Jangama Jaya, so as Jangamaha, as moving Jayastambhaha, moving pillars of victory. So you're imagining the Narendras as moving, as having the Rupa of moving pillars of victory. And this imagination is the Utpreksha Alankara. And these Narendras are Namachinnitattva Rupa Guna Nimittaha. So
why do we imagine them as moving pillars? The reason is given as
Namachinnitattva Rupa Guna Nimittena. The reason is they have been marked with the name of Nahusha in some form or the other. Tatrapi Swarupasya Utprekshanat. So now this thing is about the Swarupa, the form of the Narendras. So the imagination is about the form of the Narendras and imagining the form as a pillar. So the Swarupasya Utprekshana, Swarupa Utpreksha. The Utprekshas of many kinds. And this is
division. Yeah. It's the next division.
What is the first one, Mahodaya?
So you have Guna Utpreksha, Kriya Utpreksha or Swarupa Utpreksha. Actually இல்ல இதுல வந்து ஹேதுத்பிரேக்ஷா பலோத்பிரேக்ஷா அப்படிம்பார்.
ஆமா
ஆமா ஸ்வரூபத்பிரேக்ஷா.
So இது வந்து ஹேதுத்பிரேக்ஷா பலோத்பிரேக்ஷால ஹேதுல வந்து இது வந்து பிரபேதவா?
No. So if the hetu is imagined, there is a natural thing that happens, like say her leg is naturally very reddish in color, but if you say bhuvi vikshepanateva tatra ragatvam iti.
So here hetu is imagined, but here here is it like that?
No, this is just a swarupam, that's all, the form itself.
So it doesn't fall into either hetu or phala?
No.
Okay.
There is no hetu that is being, they do have namachinnam, which is a natural thing. What is the phalam here? There is no phalam that is shown here. Right? Yes. It's only the form of them which is being fancied.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to, did he make a division that it's going to be only Sambhavana Syat Utpreksha Vastu Hetu Phalatmana?
So Vastutpreksha is this.
So this is Vastutpreksha. Vastutpreksha, probably Swarupotpreksha is one Prabheda.
No. Swarupotpreksha is another name that other Alankarikas have given. That's all.
Or Vastutpreksha, I see. Yeah, because the Vastu, imagine, the Vastu is the Stamba. And Vastu is the idea, I think, when he says Vastu.
Idea or anything where there is no hetu or phala, you usually classify it as Vastutpreksha or Swarupotpreksha.
Got it. It doesn't stay in the mind, I read it so many times, but it doesn't stay.
Yeah. Narendra Prithvi Chakre Namachinnayir Alankritaha Jangamastasya Veerasya Jayastambha iva abhavan. Shaktir apratighatasya Shatravairapi tushtuve Yathavat sadhakasya iva Yavadartha Saraswati. Tasya apratigha shaktihi Shatravaihi api tushtuve. His pratigha is always that which is that which can be obstructed, that which can be retaliated. Here apratigha shaktihi ityukte that which nobody can face that, right? It's unassailable ங்கிற மாதிரி எடுத்துக்கலாம் இல்லையா? அப்படி இருக்கக்கூடிய his shakti shatravaihi api tushtuve, he was praised, his shakti was praised even by enemies. Shatrava can mean here Shatrunam Samuhaihi api tushtuve. Even enemies used to praise his Shakti, which was very difficult to face. So Shaktihi apratighatasya Shatravaihi api tushtuve. He gives an example here. Yathavat sadhakasya iva yavadartha saraswati. Sadhakasya yavadartha saraswati. Yathavat yatha asti tatha yaha vadati saha eva yathavat sadhakaha. A sadhaka or a person who is like a vadi. Let's say there is an argument here. Two people are arguing. One is arguing for one side. The other person is arguing for another side. The person who wants to prove his point, he is a vadi. He is talking here. There is another person who wants to attack. He is a prativadi. Now, the manner in which the vadi, the arguer, he is talking, the prativadi, the opponent, would automatically start praising this sadhaka. Tatha asti. So the person who argues, who wants to establish his matam, his Saraswati, his vak is such that it is yavadartha, yavat pratipadaniyam tavat pratipadita, tadrishi vak. So the vak is such that it has conveyed whatever that has to be conveyed, and there is nobody can argue anything. That is, he has had his last word. The other person cannot even open his mouth and say anything but praise. I accept defeat. Abdina, he has to, the only next sentence the other person can say is that I accept defeat. Tatha asti. Atra Nahushasya Shaktihi api. So it is like Nahusha's Shakti is like the ultimate thing where nobody else can retaliate and show their prowess, but instead they only praise Nahusha. We'll read the Pratipadartha and Bhavartha and then it will become a little clear.
Well, he's not going from court to do anything, right? He's just a king. Why does he have to argue?
He is not arguing. இது வந்து இது உபமா அங்க ஒரு see, he goes to conquer, right? As he goes to conquer, the other person starts praising his Shakti. That's all. They don't even stand there and fight in front of him. They accept his supremacy. Avladhan.
Okay.
Yeah. So yathavat samyak sadhakasya swamatasthapakasya vadinaha yavadartha. So samyak yaha sadhakaha vadi, an arguer, just as how an argument, someone who puts forth his matam, his opinion, yavadartha pratipadaniya ashesha yukti pratipadika saraswati iva vak iva. Just like the vak or saraswati or speech of an argument, a person who does an argument or a person who puts forth his opinion in a sabha, the vak, how is that vak? Pratipadika. It is able to convey ashesha yukti, pratipadaniya ashesha yukti, all of the arguments and suppositions that need to be explained to the other person. You have some 12 proofs, let's say, and after those 12 proofs, the other person cannot even open his mouth and give a counter argument for that. Tatha asti. Tadrishi vak iva, like that speech, Nahushasya apratigha shaktihi. Tasya Nahushasya apratigha avarodha rahita shaktihi balam shatravaihi api tushtuve. You can take this also as the this is the samana dharmam for your upamalankara. Shatrubihi api tushtuve. The words of a person who starts talking is being praised even by his opponents. In the same way, Nahusha's Shakti also is being praised by the enemy kings. Pratibhupaha itukte enemy, Shatruhu. So Shatravaihi api tushtuve stuta. Tushtuve is actually in Karmani Prayoga.
Karmani lit. Prathama Purusha Ekavachanam.
Ama. Yes. Shaktihi tushtuve. Shakti is being praised by the enemies. Okay. So yathahi pratipadaniya ashesha yukti pratipadanena swamatasthapakasya vadinaha shaktim prativadinaha api stuvanti. Kaschana vadi tatra swamatam sthapayati. Sthapayitum saha vadati. Yada saha vadati tasya shaktim prativadinaha pashyanti. The opponents are also seeing the vakshakti of that person who is arguing. Vakshaktin drishtva athava shrutva te tam stuvanti natu pratyuktim vadanti. They do not think of counter arguments, nor are they able to come up with counter arguments. Instead, they praise the person who is talking. Tatha, in the same manner, Nahushasya apratimam shaktim drishtva shatravaha api stutavantaha. They were also praising him. No, they did not stand against him to fight. Is that clear? So Vadinaha Saraswatyaha Nahushasya Shaktehe cha Sadrishya Varnanat Upamalankaraha. Vadinaha Saraswati, the speech of a Vadi, and a person who argues or who is trying to establish his mata. Nahusha's Shakti. These two are being compared here using Iva Shabda. The Sadrishya Dharmam is Shatrubihi api stuyate ityeva atra sadharana dharma.
But is comparison is kind of between his martial prowess and the power of a great speaker, of a person who speaks the truth. I mean, it doesn't seem to, at first glance, it doesn't seem to be a nice, doesn't seem to fit. It's comparing to Saraswati Vak and Satya Vak actually, right? Because Yathartha Bhava is that which will win. So he probably thinks that his Shakti is also Satya. It's completely having the
power.
Powerful, unbeatable, because Satya is unbeatable. So in that sense, I guess he's comparing it. I mean, it's a nice comparison after you understand it. At first glance, it's kind of not so... புரியாது. ஆமா.
ஒரு மாதிரி ஒட்டாத மாதிரியே இருக்கும். என்னடா அது ஃபிட்டியாலியே அப்படின்னு இருக்கும். இல்ல அது கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டப்படும் அவரோடது. சிலதெல்லாம் வந்து சில உபமாக்கள்லாம் வந்து போட்டு ஒரு திணிக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும்.
கொஞ்சம் ஆர்டிபிஷியலா இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும்.
அங்க அதனாலதான் உபமா காளிதாசஸ். உபமாலாம் அப்படியே வந்து விழும்.
நேச்சுரலா போவாங்க.
ஸ்ட்ரகிள்லே பண்ண வேண்டாம்.
நீங்க கொஞ்சம் வரது, I mean, you can finally you can understand the beauty of it, but கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டப்படணும்.
Right.
சரஸ்வதிக்கும் துர்காக்கும் கம்பேரிசன் இப்போ.
ஓஹோ அப்படி போடுறேன். அது சரி. ஆமா. கல்வியா செல்வமா வீரமா ஞாபகம் வந்துருது எனக்கு. Shaktihi Shatravaihi Tushtuve. So Shatravaihi, for the doubt that you were asking, it is in Karmani Prayoga, passive voice. Shatravaha Shaktim Tushtubuhu. If I have to say that in lit lakara itself, in Kartari Prayoga, then I would say the enemies Shatravaha or Shatravaha Shaktim Nahushasya Shaktim Tushtuvuhu அப்படின்னு வரணும். துஷ்டுவுஹு கர்த்தரி. ஓகே, துஷ்டாவ கரெக்ட் தானே? ஆமா, துஷ்டுவுஹுன்னு வரணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். And then tushtuve is in karmani prayoga here.
And the shatru to shatrava is probably swarte an or something. Shatru and shatrava is saman, I mean samanartha hai kila.
Samanartha prayaha. I thought it was samuhartham. Therila shatroho samuhaha nanchena shatravahan.
Shatravahi nu bahuvachanathila irukku illaya appo.
Ama samuhaha.
Samuha na adu வந்து ஏகவச்சனை பர்யாப்தம் kila.
Groups and groups of enemies இருக்கப்படாதா?
அப்படியா? ஓகே,
ரொம்ப கன்ஃபைன் பண்றீங்களா நீங்க? என்ன? ஓகே. Yes, so Kartari lit will also be the same form only, but we have to look at the context and figure it out whether it is Kartari or Karmani. Shaktir apratighatasya shatravairapi tushtuve yathavat sadhakasyeva yavadartha saraswati.